Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
They said I gotta come off the bench.
Now, here's Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome back. OTB here on 104.5 ESPN. Hope everybody's having a great day today. It is Friday. LSU Texas A&M is on the docket for tonight. Softball looking to bounce back after last night's Arkansas game. And, well, can't wait to watch. Jakey, what's up, dude? How was school drop-off? How are we doing today?
It was good. It was good. All went well. You know, it's one of those things where I used to do it every single morning, then I never do it. And so when I do it again, I'm like, I'm glad that my wife does this every morning.
There's a lot of funny jokes that could probably be made about this last few sentences. My brain's maybe not on enough right now to do them. Yeah. I mean, I do the pickup every day. It's a lot.
So yesterday, how about this? Because like everyone at SiriusXM's on vacation right now, and so like people typically that would go to the bullpen and pull them up and work for me, like they're not available right now. So and Bobby was on. So yesterday I had to kind of do this. We had to piece it together. So I did it from 2 to 2:30, and then we had guests at 2:30, 3, and 3:30, so I could leave, go pick up the kids from carpool. And then come back and finish the show. And so we had 3 guests. Bobby filled, some of the space there. And I had to.
I mean, come on now, Professor. He hosts a daily show. He has his own morning show. He should be able. He can handle it. He can handle alone for sure.
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised, T-Bob. Like you and I, we both host shows. And so if one of us is out, it's like, whatever. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll make it work. We'll talk about something. We have a lot of our colleagues that, if you said, hey, you got it for 12 minutes, they'd be like, nah, not doing it. Can't do it. Won't do it.
Just got to talk.
Yeah, I know.
Just BS.
So
just start talking about something you're passionate about just to fill the empty space. Like The Last Jedi or something.
Well, you got to have 12-minute monologue ready to go, I feel like, at all times.
Yes.
Because a couple days ago, the entire system that we used through SiriusXM, it went down. But I was already logged into the system, so I was actually up. So I found out as our music kind of was hitting to start the show, hey, EJ's not going to be here.
There you go.
You got to be ready to go. You got to have 12 minutes ready to go.
What
And
do
it
they
turned
say?
into an hour and a half. But
Head on a swivel, making it. And obviously, I mean, but okay, now that situation, yes, that's different. You got to be ready to improv. You got to be ready to go. But like a planned situation, that's just lazy if you can't do segments alone.
I agree.
Because you could just write everything.
Yeah.
You just have everything planned out. Like, hell, you could actually script it if you wanted to. Generally, I like to work off like an outline.
Yeah, that's how I do Super Bowl radio. I have an outline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know who has no problem with this? Taylor. Taylor has 45-minute monologues ready to go at any moment of the day.
Taylor, if for some reason these microphones went out, that was the only one that was working, T-Bob and I got sick, I don't know, could you right now go
Easily.
for 16 minutes?
Oh, yeah, I could talk about something out the box, too. Like, for example.
Alondra just gave an exasperated nod as she sat back in her chair
Okay.
and closed her eyes.
She
For
did not even mean
example,
to do that.
I was thinking about this coming into work this morning. Jalen Brunson is super underrated for the New York
Yeah,
Knicks.
he is.
Yeah.
He had 40 points in a closeout game last night, and people are still like, can he be a number one in the NBA? Yeah, he's been a number one for like 3 years now.
And
hit the three to win the game.
Yeah, the step back through the legs 3 to win the game was pretty insane. And then he held up the 3 and he kissed it like it was like a blade. That was badass.
He is an elite player in this league, and he has been for 3 years now.
Yeah. I'm giving the Pelicans one more year, by the way, and then I'm going back.
To the Knicks? God,
Yeah.
you hopped off at the exact wrong time. Well, I mean, maybe you're the bad luck dude. Speaking of jinxes.
Maybe so.
That's true.
Maybe
The
it's more
Pelicans were totally.
Yeah,
they were about
we
to
were
win
good.
right before Jake
Yeah.
hopped
Until freaking Jonah Hester showed up, dude. It's time to feed this guy to the whales. Feed this guy to the Pelicans.
Yeah, they were right there.
They were.
They were one move away.
They were.
Zion found out. Jake jumped on board. He's like, I'm feeling a little tight tonight.
Now it's now we have Joe Dumars, which I'm not going to pretend like I'm enough of a basketball expert to have a great opinion on Joe Dumars. I do kind of hate the hiring process behind it. Now maybe Dumars is very good, and I've always been a Joe Dumars fan because he's from Louisiana. Which again is probably, I'm like celebrate. I'm saying I'm a fan of him because of the very process that I'm kind of denigrating here. But like, I do kind of agree with Scott Kushner that like, I don't know, it does feel like just a classic Mickey Loomis, like good old boy. Like, let's just go with our boy, even though he was awful at the end in Detroit.
We were talking about it. So like the week y'all were out was the week that Griffin got fired. I mean, it was it was the awful sports weekend in Louisiana. We all remember it. Mm-hmm. We had a Pelicans guy on one of the shows, and he was saying that David Griffin, back in like late February, wanted to let go of Willie Green. And essentially the front office was like, you no longer have the power to make these moves.
Yeah, that makes sense too.
So like he knew he was fired back in February.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He just kind of had to go through the motions.
Yeah, David Griffin's biggest mistakes, because he did some good things. They drafted well. Trajan Langdon was a really good hire, I feel like, in terms of evaluating college talent. But Dave Griffin's biggest mistakes, I mean, he was awful at picking head coaches. He stuck with Alvin Gentry for a year. Terrible decision. Stan Van Gundy, terrible decision. And then Willie Green was at least a bit, kind of like the Griffin hire. It was inspired, and as Scott said, aspirational, but neither worked out.
Look, we got to root for Joe Dumars. He was born in Shreveport.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
He's from Natchitoches.
I know.
Went to McNeese.
Exactly.
Got to root for the guy.
I always have. I remember growing up, my dad being like, Joe Dumars, he's from Louisiana. I played basketball with him when I was young. I was like, oh, hell yeah. Okay. I love Joe Dumars then. That's cool. But, man, the Detroit fans were clowning us when they said they hired him. It did not end well in Detroit.
Well,
he had some highlights, though. We'll
he won the championship they won in the early 2000s, but like that was 20 years ago. Like the last time he was exec of the year was 2004. Anytime in the NBA or any professional sports you're bringing up, hey, they have Louisiana ties, it's underwhelming because it's like you're not recruiting. It doesn't really matter if you have Louisiana ties or not. And that's what the Pelicans hung their hat on. They're like, guys, here's Louisiana ties. I'm like, you're not recruiting in professional basketball. Like that's, who cares where they're from? But that's what they hung their hat on.
Yeah. Hey, hold on. What was I? Sorry, got distracted. Got a text. All right, let's do this. I want to talk about Danny Stutzman. So we're going to do that in a second right after I tell you about Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. YourGoodwood.com. YourGoodwood.com. Has your wood gone bad? Well, we're here to help. Got wood? No? Well, again, we're here to help. If you're suffering from ED, low T, low energy, any of this, Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness can customize a plan for you to get you where you want to be. So we are no longer settling for mediocrity in the bedroom, in the boardroom, or in life in general. Okay? And at Goodwood, the first step is going to be to draw your labs. Shout out Mimi. One stick. I was good to go. Feel great. Bam, bam. Right? And so you get your labs drawn. It tells your body, it tells them what's up with your body, where it's strong, where it's weak, and what you need. And then they customize a plan for you to get you where you want to be. Explore HRT. The data is great. And the long-term studies continue to point more and more positively towards the effects of HRT. But maybe your testosterone's fine, right? Maybe it's something else. It's all there, though. And Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness, penile enhancement, all of it. Go to YourGoodwood.com, YourGoodwood.com. All right, so Danny Stutzman, how about this, dude? The New Orleans Saints drafting Danny Stutzman with pick number 112. This is Dane Brugler's third linebacker on the board. Pretty damn good value to get a guy this productive from Oklahoma at 112. Here's what Brugler writes, quote, Stutzman is a smart player who consistently reads keys in the run game and understands route concepts and zone drops. Consistency and a nonstop motor are his hallmarks. What he lacks in high-end athleticism, he makes up for in football IQ. Now, that is a bit interesting because he does run a 4.52 40. Right? So to be that size on a 4.52, pretty damn athletic and has high football IQ. How about this?
34-inch vertical, too.
34-inch vertical, yeah. I mean, that's damn athletic. At Oklahoma, he led the team in tackles all 3 years he was there. He had 124, 104, and 109. Overall, 377 tackles, 36 tiffles, and 8 sacks for the career. A super productive dude joining the squad now. And he gets to train under Demario Davis, learn how to be a pro from one of the best to ever do it. Feels like a fun weapon for Brandon Staley to use here.
It's a great pick. So it's kind of like running back where you get real value late in the draft. And it's just because of where the position is. Well, middle linebacker's kind of gone like that in the NFL. And so don't maybe look at where he got drafted. Just actually watch the tape, do an evaluation of the player. You mentioned the 4.52, 34-inch vertical, 22 reps on the bench press. So like all the measurables, they kind of line up. And then it lines up with the tape and the production. You mentioned he led his team in tackles for 3 straight years. He's a 2-time all-conference first-team player, 2-time All-American at Oklahoma as well. Set a career high with 125 tackles, 2 interceptions, 5 PBUs back in his sophomore season. So he's been doing this for a long time. Like, it's not just a one-hit wonder. He did it for 3 solid seasons at one of the marquee programs in the country. I love everything about the pick. And he's a little bit taller, I guess, for a middle linebacker.
Is he? How tall is he?
He's 6'3".
He's pretty. Yeah, I was going to say, watching highlights of him, he's not slim is not the right word, but he's not like your stocky. Like he's a little longer.
He's 6'3" and some change and 233.
Yeah,
so it's a little taller. And I point that out because now he's you have to understand leverage. Like we always joke about it, but that's a real thing.
Yeah.
So I figured you figured like slowly, like you mentioned, Demario Davis, somebody that you can learn under and continue to develop as a player. But I think he can help you, and he probably can help you from day number 1. Now he's going to be like a core 4 teams guy. I don't think there's any question about that.
Yes.
Like from the get-go, he'll be that. But
psycho white boy energy combined with a 4.5 240. I mean, that is special teams 101 right there.
But I think he helps you on the defense.
I agree.
I mean, Pete Warner's somebody that struggles to stay healthy for a full season. And you got an aging Demario Davis, still awesome, still great, and still can give you some value there. But he is aging. And so this is somebody, again, don't look at the round because that's kind of just the way the position has gone. And also 9-inch king.
9-inch king?
9 on the dot.
On the dot. I mean, we love to see it. Danny Stutzman. Absolutely love to see it. Pretty tall guy. 9-inch, just saying. Same as me. Ross Jackson had a good write-up too, kind of pointing out, now you can do some interesting things where like a lot of times your nickel, you might be in a 4.25. Well, you want to go 3.35 at a linebacker in the field, maybe rush the backer. Like he can do some. He gives you some versatility. Again, a fun weapon, I think, for Brandon Staley to play with. Who pretty cool now that Brandon Staley's to DC. We kind of forget about that. I feel like that get lost sometimes in all the Derek
I try to
Carr
forget about Brandon Staley. We'll see if I can remember him again. Pro Football Focus had the highest grade of any linebacker in the entire FBS with a 90.9 run defense grade.
Damn. And that's what the Saints struggled last year. So this is a great pick. I mean, this feels like great value to get him where you got him.
I agree.
Philip Mark says, can't wait to not utilize Stutzman, lose him in free agency, and watch him all pro for another team. Yeah. Unfortunately.
I was just thinking, I was like, man, in 4 years, he's going to look good as a Super Bowl champ with the Eagles.
Oh, man.
Him and Zach Baun in the middle.
Ryan Brack says, can we replace a guy being a dog and start calling him Gorilla Frontlines? He would be a Gorilla Frontline guy. Danny Stutzman would.
Bobby kind of used something similar yesterday.
The only question I have on Stutzman is, now I love this in some ways. He has a horns down tattooed. He has an upside down Texas logo tattooed on his thigh, which is awesome and petty. And I love a guy who loves real hate. But I kind of wonder, is he? Well, actually, maybe this is a positive, Jake. It also makes me think he's just a really dumb meathead.
Yeah.
Because I wonder if he thought about this. So he has it on his thigh. It's an upside down Texas logo. But what that means is, to him, his perspective, it's a right side up Texas logo.
Yeah.
So every time he's sitting on the toilet, every time he's taking his pants, every time he looks down, he is seeing a correctly perspectived Texas logo at him.
Yeah, every time he's trying to download something on the internet and his
He's
pants get
it's a
caught in the
virus.
chair. Yeah.
It's a virus.
Yeah.
We'll play that audio in hour 3.
Yeah, but then everybody else would see it as a regular.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Let's say I was with Stutzman and I was looking at his thighs. I would see it as a horns out, and I would understand
Yeah.
it. So, but it is just it's funny to me.
I mean, ultimate like meathead, crazy white boy linebacker. He's got the wrist guard. He's got the arm guard. Like he's got. I know he played last year with the neck roll.
I hate that helmet though.
I hate that
Yeah, I
helmet
don't
too.
like it.
It's supposed to have a visor, but it's still not tight.
I just don't like not having
A
the
bar.
part of
across
the
the-
face
what's
bar
it,
up
the-
top.
Yeah.
Axiom or whatever it's called. Everybody's wearing it now. and
Everybody's wearing it now. I don't like
it's
it.
awful.
I think
Only Jameis looks good in it.
a psycho white boy linebacker is a core piece of any team.
Yeah.
Like you have to have that.
And Pete Warner's maybe not psycho enough. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know Joe Burrow did beat him in that tire pull contest.
Yeah.
So
Ooh,
exactly.
yeah,
No
too
coming back
soft.
from that, dude.
Too soft.
No coming back.
now
from
we
that.
knew at that
Poodle.
moment who Joe Burrow was, but
Not a poodle.
Michael, that's funny. Can't read it on air. If you want to see what he wrote, go to youtube.com/1045ESPN and hit the like button. All right. More OTB coming up next.
Off the bench.
GoTommies.com. GEAUX Tommies.com. Tommies are your exterior home improvement experts. If you need hardy plank or vinyl siding, wood or vinyl windows, any type of door, you need Tommies, where you get professionalism, integrity, dependability, efficiency, some of the core values of Tommy's Windows, Doors, and Siding. And look, check it out, man. We're talking energy efficient options. Save you money on bills, save you money over time, and a couple lifetime warranties. What are we waiting for? Okay, go Tommy's, GEAUX.com.
yeah, when you go there, right there in the top of the website on the bar, testimonials, gallery, check out windows, doors, and siding, obviously, but we always kind of push you towards checking out what they've done in the greater Baton Rouge area for your neighbors. Check out those testimonials, check out the gallery, but always remember they can customize your job. So whatever you're looking for, have Tommy and the team come out, they'll get it done. GoTommies.com.
Back to sports talk. Maybe. Off the bench.
Oh, whoa. Hey now, Alondra. Okay, girl. I see you.
This is like the one that I know. Shout out to my brother. He showed me this song.
Shout out to me brother. He showed me this song. I was watching Boiler Room the other day on YouTube.
Did you ever watch Skins back in the day?
Hell yeah, I watched
yeah.
Skins. Very good show.
Yeah. Tony.
Nicholas Holt.
Yeah,
That's the
Nicholas
first thing
Holt.
I remember him in.
And I forget.
I
her
just
name,
remember
but that one girl's
too.
on it.
I watched it marathon style in college one day. I think it was in like Athens. You know, everybody's hungover and it's just playing on like, or somebody of the DVDs maybe.
Yeah.
But I just remember being amazed at how much you could get away with on British television.
Yeah, right?
Compared to America. Like I feel like you saw boobs.
You saw a lot
100%
of
on
stuff
that?
on that show.
I've
Yeah.
never seen it. It's called Skins. So my first thought was probably, and my second thought was this makes sense that T-Bob watched this.
They tried to make an American
they
one.
did, yeah.
And I don't think it went well on MTV. But also, I mean, you had Nicholas Holt, which you didn't realize you kind of had like one of the top guys in Hollywood there in your teen drama.
I think I saw somebody go back and like mention all the like extremely famous people that were in that show.
In Skins?
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause the
I don't even
sister
remember
was
the
like,
full cast.
the sister went, like Tony or Nicholas Holt's sister went on to be super famous too. I forget her name. Let me see.
Kaya Scolodario?
Yes, yeah. She's in like a bunch of stuff
Oh, yeah,
too.
yeah. Joe Dims, or the Chris. Oh,
She was
wow.
in The
Dev
Gentleman.
Patel
Fake.
was in it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dev Patel was in
wow.
it.
Chris Miles, I recognize from stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, oh wait, no, that's Joe Dempsey. Okay, sorry. Daniel Kaluuya was in it.
Yeah.
Damn. What's the dude from Get Out?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah,
That was like one of the
Bangers.
first shows that I binge watched ever.
yeah.
It was on Netflix.
Great college hungover show for sure.
Yeah.
Which that was one of my favorite parts about college, or the best memories, or when you're maybe like staying at a friend's house, maybe you're out of town, in town, whatever, or maybe just you and your roommates, very long night, feel awful the next day, you wake up, you would take $20 to McDonald's and get 20 double cheeseburgers. You'd come home, dump them on the table, and then you just lay around and watch TV all day. God, not a worry in the world.
I remember I was binge watching it so much that my thoughts were in a British accent.
Yeah, I mean that's what happens when you binge, right? You end up dreaming about it. I've had a few instances of that last night. I mean, last night I was just dreaming about Andor all night. Cool dreams though, for sure. God, Andor's good. T-Bob, read the question. I don't see the question. Anyway, all right. So I want to talk about the Texas headline.
Oh,
the Texas headline: Texas football as it relates to LSU. So making the headlines yesterday, Texas reportedly spending $40 million on their roster this fall. Now, this was said to be a 35 to 40. It was said to be a high-end estimate from Houston Chronicle columnist Kirk Bowles. Now, Kirk has covered Texas for more than 50 years. Okay, so this is one of the OGs here. And so I initially saw this and I was like, whoa, bro, that's pretty crazy. I wasn't too shocked because of the lessons that we learned last season. But I was like, that's pretty crazy. But then I read that this is with the rev share included. And I think there's an even bigger takeaway to be had now, which is not that it's crazy that Texas is spending $40 million on its roster, but rather, Jake, that pretty much anybody who wants to dance is going to be 30 mil or above.
yeah.
Because you got the 15 from the rev share,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're putting in, another 10 to 15 if you want to be one of the major players. So already you're immediately there in that $25 to $30 million range. So the takeaway is, I mean, even LSU, I'm guessing will be like at 30 or close to it. Because remember, we also know that everybody who had kind of resources built up wanted to go ahead and go all in before rev share kicks in, because we don't know exactly what these collectives are going to look like in the near future. So the biggest takeaway is simply that, man, college football, this is it, baby. This is it. The rosters, this is going to be the cost of doing business. And I don't know, people keep saying the market can't keep going up, but it keeps going up. And it just, I can't help but laugh thinking, Jake, when we used to advocate for players to be paid and we were told there's no money. There's no money.
Yeah.
There's no money. We can't do it.
We barely get across the finish line.
Yeah, we're definitely not manipulating budgets and whatnot so that we can barely get it. No, we can't do it. There's no money.
Yeah.
Oh, really? And then you might have said, if I brought this up last year, you might have said, oh, well, T-Bob, that's because it's money from outside sources. Well, guess what? Now the school and the outside sources are paying these kids. Like, the market has clearly spoken. If you can play, we're willing to pay.
You talk about $40 million for one team, like one collegiate roster. Now, I guess if you did break it into NFL terms, like the NFL salary cap is way, way higher. And obviously only 53 players compared to, 85 scholarship players, and the roster limits are going to change, whatever. But still, that's a jarring number. And if you're a team that can't even get close, you can't even live in that neighborhood, like it's a gated neighborhood and you don't know the code.
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to do? Now, luckily for the team that we cover every single day, they've got the code.
Yep.
They can get into the gated neighborhood, but it's only going to continue to just push the top teams in the Big Ten, the SEC, away from everyone else. Like, no longer is, Wake Forest going to be able to have a fun year with the Sam Hartman and, Kenneth Walker when he was there. It's just,
well, how do you define fun year?
Where they're actually
like 9 wins, or like actually in like a championship conversation?
Well, like 9-10 wins, beating a Clemson and a Florida State in the same year.
Yeah, probably not.
Doesn't feel like that's gonna
maybe like
happen.
9-3 would be the ceiling of like a good fun year.
Even teams in the Big Ten, like Purdue, are you ever going to be relevant again? Because even Northwestern's a little bit different. Like Northwestern actually has some money.
Yeah.
So
Drew Brees, assistant GM for the Boilermakers.
Is he?
No, but it isn't funny. That would be like right in line with everything we're seeing. Yeah.
So like, how many teams can actually do this? How many teams are going to be left behind? And also, are we ever going to get to where we have a salary cap?
I think so. I do think, but I don't know what. I don't know what the timeline on that looks like, Jake, because who's benefiting? Who's benefiting from this? Obviously, I think the players are in a lot of ways because they're able to constantly use leverage, transfer, et cetera, et cetera. But more importantly, for maybe changing the rules, Jake, there's a lot of lawyers and agents who are benefiting big time and who will argue tooth and nail that none of this should change. And when you have a gaggle of lawyers incentivized to fight in the courts and you don't really have, I mean, I guess it'd just be schools paying these other side of lawyers to fight against them, but it's like I could see it being a bit slow and grindy to try to change this. But I think eventually we get there. But again, the timeline, because of the vested interest, the timeline on that could be long.
Yeah, there's times where slow and grindy are good. This is just not one of them.
It's not one of them.
You know?
It's not one of them.
Texas feels like Texas, Ohio State. You have one more that feel like they're just going to be juggernauts in this era.
Well, I mean, look, guys, let's just look at the data, right? What did Velais Paterculus tell us? No man considers a course base for himself, which has proven profitable to others. Okay, who won the national championship last year? Or, excuse me, who had the most expensive roster last year? Ohio State.
Yep.
Who won the national championship? Ohio State. Who had the most draft picks with 14 of them, 7 in the top 45? Ohio State. Okay, who had the second most draft picks? Georgia. Who had the third most? Texas. Who had the fourth most? Oregon. What do all these schools have in common? They all had rosters that were like $20 million or above, and they all made the playoffs. So, like, the answer could not be more clearly. If you want to win big, you got to spin big. Bottom line.
Yeah, you can't ball on a budget anymore.
No.
You can't go barrel bin shopping. It's just like, and we were all trying to figure this out. Like, even Dabo is like giving himself over, right?
Yeah.
There's this basketball player for Clemson that maybe wants to play football, and yesterday Dabo's like, oh, well, if he wants to, we got a little revenue share for him. We can have a little revenue share for him. Like, there was a point when Dabo
you're
said
supposed to quit.
He would quit if players ever got paid, okay? But he realizes, oh, my God, I was about to be left behind. Like, some of that happened at LSU. It's like you did try to hit the portal in a different way. You were trying to bring in guys from smaller schools and elevate their game, and some worked, a lot didn't. Well, now you realize you can't do that. Now you realize you have to pay for premium players. You have to go to Oklahoma and get a couple of players. You got to go to Texas A&M.
Yeah.
You got to go to Florida. You have to go to these places that are trying to be on the same level as you, and that's the player that you have to bring in. Like, you go get Mississippi State's starting quarterback to be your backup quarterback.
God, it's I know it is. What a volatile and insane market. Which, to be fair, you should maybe be careful about trying to predict too much in the future, but it's also just not that hard to understand. Like, look, he says here, not T-Bob making permanent assumptions of a 1-year data point. Okay, no, here's the deal, man. What do you think's going to be? What do you think's going to be par for the course going forward? Do you think it's going to be the Moneyball team? Like, do you think it's going to be the overachieving Moneyball team somehow is keeping up the big dogs? I'm not saying that'll never happen. But funnily enough, if you wanted to reinforce your point, you'd probably have to point to Michigan to a Moneyball team, and they're not, or they were. And look what they did. They said no more. Spent $12 million to get a quarterback.
Yeah.
So, like,
Indiana might be the best example of a Moneyball team.
Yes, fair. Exactly, right? So there will be exceptions, but the rule is money. And again, you accuse me of making grand, sweeping proclamations of 1-year data point. Well, it takes me in a couple of years. But even beyond that, I don't know. I feel like it's the data points of everything I see in the world, which is when you can throw more money at something than somebody else can, you have a significantly higher chance of being successul. Dodgers are pretty good right now, aren't they?
They don't suck.
Why is that? I mean, like, what are we talking about? Like, what point are you trying to make? Anyway.
What's the NBA's highest payroll?
I don't know. I mean, they have I guess because you can go over the cap, but then you got to pay the luxury tax.
Like which team?
Actually, this is a disaster. This is funny.
Is it the Lakers?
No, I think it's the Suns.
Oh.
And they had the worst season ever.
Because of that Bradley Beal contract.
Yeah.
Awful.
Beal, Booker, Durant, and they were god-awful. So, that money, not a guarantee
they were
of success. Okay.
Second. Minnesota.
Minnesota's
one.
the first highest payroll?
Yeah.
Damn. Okay, well, back to my point. Because Minnesota just got out the second round.
Yeah.
Or, excuse me, got out the first round for the second year in a row for the first time in franchise history. Minnesota, in the last 2 years, has now knocked off Durant and Devin Booker, Jokic and Murray, and now LeBron and Luka. Pretty damn strong from Ant and company. By the way, did y'all see Ant Edwards walking around the crypto arena after the game? I've never seen that before.
No.
He knocked out LA, and then he took a stroll around the stadium outside, not inside, outside with his boys talking crap. Talking about how good guys don't die in this movie. Morris Chestnut dies in this movie. Oh, y'all said Lakers in 5? Okay.
Yeah,
it was crazy. I've never seen anything
Batman,
like it.
Superman.
Yeah. Never seen anything like it.
One sad part about what I just looked up, the Pelicans have the 11th highest payroll in the NBA. But you know what? It's not even the saddest part. You want to hear something that is diabolical. The Washington Wizards have the third highest payroll in the NBA.
Oh, God, that's just mismanaged. That's insane.
The total money.
Who are they paying? I don't even know. Bradley Beal's not even there anymore.
Washington Wizards. Well, they're probably still like paying for some other people that they've had. Kyle Kuzma, somebody they traded. Maybe they're still paying some of his deal. But so the T-Wolves at, let's see, $237 million and some change. Washington, $211 million.
That's crazy. Noogie says, how many rings do Dodgers have the past 2 decades? 1. Yeah, the one when they spent the most money. And now maybe for a second. Anyway, whatever. I don't know why I'm getting defensive and feeling like I have to overprove my point. I feel like it's a very obvious takeaway, and I feel like the market reflects it because look at the money that's being spent by all the teams that are trying to win championships. So
Chris Middleton makes $31 million with the Wizards.
Middleton was
Jordan Poole $29 million.
No, I don't understand that one as much.
Malcolm Brogdon $22.5 million.
GAC's finest, baby. Shout out Malcolm Brogdon. Remember watching that kid in high school?
Yeah, shout out to him for sure. But
don't be hating.
You know him because he went to GAC.
You shouldn't play football.
I know him because I played daily fantasy.
Yeah, and he was good.
Who else in here knows him? In this
Landra
building?
does. She was just talking about Malcolm Brogdon last week. I was like, how do you know Malcolm? She said, I just love him. Very talented player. It's crazy.
I did say that.
Mm-hmm. So there it is, guys. I believe that if you want to win big, you got to spend big. Now, like Jake said, LSU has a code to the neighborhood. But, hey, taxes are going up. Property taxes are skyrocketing. We'll see where this all ends. More OTB coming up next.
Off the bench.
Go to All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge, allstartoyotabatonrouge.com. All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge is one-stop vehicular shop, and that's whether you're looking to add a new vehicle to your family. Maybe, look, you want great trade-in value and then turn right back around, get you maybe a Toyota certified used vehicle where you still get warranty coverage, you can lease something, buy something brand new. It's all there at All-Star. And remember, if you need a body shop or a service center, you want to go to the All-Star and you get free professional estimates, you get rapid turnaround times, great lines, communication. You mention OTB, $250 towards a deductible. And if you ever need a rent, just holla at Miss Lee's session. Go to All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge, allstartoyotabatonrouge.com.
Yep, he mentioned the rental department. Call Miss Lisa Sessions today because we are here. It is May the 2nd, so summer vacation is coming fast and furious, probably in 3 weeks or so. So go ahead and rent that Toyota today. Make sure that you've got exactly what you want. They have what you want at allstartoyotabatonrouge.com.
Back from the break, where the sports talk gets real. Kinda. Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Winner, Alondra?
Were y'all having like a boys only meeting or something?
No,
He-Man woman hater.
I was running.
What is
We
happening?
got back from break and nobody's in the studio except for Alondra. I was running into the other room to answer an email. You know how your various logins are saved
Answer
on
an email. Oh my
yeah,
God, I don't
yeah.
believe you.
No, like, you know how your various logins are saved to like one computer or
And
another?
you don't have to use your password.
Yeah.
So like
you never
randomly,
know.
yes, the only thing, like, I don't know my password for this Edward Jones thing I needed to fill out. And so like
Jones.
I had to like run over to my computer and I didn't get it done.
Dang.
But it's okay. We're going to do it next break.
Edward Jones.
Yeah, bank.
I know. Look at you.
Okay, adult.
I know. Feels very official.
I love this idea that no one interacts with their bank
I don't.
at all.
I sure don't.
Well, I feel like we got a room full of meatheads in here. So, Edward
man.
Jones wasn't what I was expecting. I just had to use the restroom.
well-
and then Tay was watching at the
I also had to pee too.
He was looking at the construction across the street, kind of yelling at it like an old man.
Of course. Of freaking
I'm
course.
He's like, how long have they been here?
What
I was
is
trying
more
to email
on task?
something to myself because this computer's bad, and then I look out the window and I'm like, how long is this dumpster gonna stay here? Like, the dumpster's been there for
they're
like.
working. Yes, they're working on a job.
Where are they supposed to put the trash?
Yeah.
I know, but they to Tay-Tay's
I mean, guys,
point,
that dumpster's been
they've
there for
been
like
in there
3
for a
months.
minute. Like, I don't know what they're doing, but
I don't know. Are they restoring that church across from us?
Okay,
It
but
looks
that's
beautiful.
the point. Like, it's been 3 months. You're not building it from scratch. That thing's already built.
Oh my God! You think you can build a church in 3 months?
No,
The St. Peter's
they're not
Basilica
building the
took
church.
700 years
The
to build.
Sagrada Familia took
just
like
kidding, I have no idea.
forever.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I don't even know if it's still or if it's even finished.
What's the biggest church in the world? Is it a cathedral?
The Joel Osteen one. I'm totally kidding.
That was good.
probably not wrong,
They have,
It's
like-
St. Peter's Basilica.
So it's actually the Basilica of Our Lady of Peace in Yamoussoukro, Ivory Coast.
Yep.
It's bigger than St. Peter's Basilica.
Huh. Maybe this is including the grounds or something. I don't know.
Oh, maybe.
But this Ivory Coast one sounds way more interesting.
Yeah.
Can I get a picture?
Of what?
And that's
Côte d'Ivre.
The Basilica of Our Lady of Peace in Yamoussoukro,
though. Yep.
Ivory Coast. That sounds right, huh?
Sure.
Our Lady of Peace.
Côte d'Ivre.
Yes. Our Lady of Peace. But yeah, that's
You
what
sound
it says.
like you sound like some of us that are covering the NFL draft, and you're in the 7th round, and somebody takes a
Yeah.
edge rusher from UCLA, and you're like,
Here we go. The Ivory Coast.
oh god,
It's a lot of vowels.
lots of
Yeah, Yamoussoukro.
A lot of vowels.
Alondra will appreciate this and know how what I was going through in the moment. So we did a show for
Oh my God, that's in the Ivory Coast.
Yeah.
So it's funny because that building maybe doesn't look that crazy until you realize that those smaller buildings beneath it
Or like a
Are
normal
are like
church.
really
Yeah, yeah.
big. Like that's insane. That's insane.
Yeah,
Anyway,
Wait, I want to hear this story.
Yeah, so do I.
no. I mean, you saw me that day is why I bring up your name. We were doing like ESPN Radio, Sirius XM campus tour. We're at Walk-Ons. It's the hottest day like in American history. I swear it was miserable. So hot.
Oh, that with
Well, Bobby
yeah,
came.
yeah.
Bobby came. You came
Yeah.
out and hung out. It was so hot, and I was going like right up until pregame to do
Yeah.
the show, like
Yeah.
right up until
Yeah.
And LSU couldn't get a golf cart to me. Like they couldn't. And I'm like, come
What
on,
are we
like, You
doing,
don't have a
dude?
golf cart. You can come to
Come
walk-ons.
Yeah.
Get from the stadium. So like as soon as the broadcast ended, I had 12 minutes to get from walk-ons to the booth to start pregame. It was hot, like I said. So I'm sprinting, kind of running. I get there. When I say like I look like I had just gone swimming, fully clothed, that's
I
what
mean,
it
at
was.
that point, dude, you ain't getting me to run.
Oh, it was
Y'all
so
like
well, it was
Blair,
super
you're gonna
hot.
have to vamp because y'all screwed me on this one.
It was so hot that day, and it was so funny because I was in the elevator going up to the press box, and I was chilling. Like I had just got there, I walked there. Jake like comes on the elevator, and I was like, "Oh, you made it!" He's like sweating,
and then
breathing.
I sit down. I sit down, and I don't know. This is on me, but I sit down, and it's UCLA's depth chart starters that I have to. And I had worked on some of the names, but like I wasn't in the state, and it's just like all these letters mashed together. It
Oh,
looked like
man.
somebody just threw random letters together. They made no sense. There's no way that's a real name, and I'm just like fighting for my life looking at this paper.
There's no way that you would see Ha'omanauanui and know how to say it just
Oh,
off the rip.
hell no.
Be tough. When you think of Ivory Coast,
there was 17 of those, by the way.
what sports figure do you think of when you think of Ivory Coast?
When you think of what?
Ivory Coast.
Nobody.
10 seconds.
I don't.
Didier Drogba.
Yeah.
Closing out hour 2 next. OTB.
Off the bench.
Hey guys, go to trashrangers.com. Uh-oh, Guzzler the Guzzler says about to guzzle the Aggies. I'm about to guzzle up some trash because I'm a front load dumpster that gets emptied up to 6 days a week. If you got a business that needs it, get in touch with Trash Rangers. Anywhere in the listening area, Trash Rangers can serve you. Get that red can. Look, if you live in Livingston or Central, you get to make a choice about your residential pickup, and chances are you done seen the red cans popping up around your neighborhood, and that's because people are making the switch and go with the local, reliable people. They're Trash Rangers who are members of the community. And if you need a roll-off dumpster for any project, 10, 15, 30 yards, we got it, man. We drop it off, great price, pick it back up for you. You don't lift a finger. TrashRangers.com.
Go to the website today, and you can sign up for residential commercial service. But look, if you're in the greater Baton Rouge area, no matter where you're at, we're talking to you 3 different sizes of roll-off dumpsters. Get the one on your project today, TrashRangers.com.
Back from the break, where the sports talk gets real. Kinda. Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back, OTB.
This is a banger.
I used to love this song.
Yeah, me too.
Like when it first came out.
Yeah. It got overplayed, but, I hadn't heard it in like 2-3 years.
Yeah.
Good now.
Tyler Shough says he will not be wearing the number 8 or 9, and he hopes to wear 6 or 18.
All right, Bo.
Of course, 18, Peyton, but also Archie. So, a historic Saints over there. 6, you think about the only New Orleans hit they think of 6, and I think of Thomas Morstead, the legend, Saints, bad decision cutting Morstead. I mean, he's gone on to continue to be great, and you've been rifling through punters.
Story of the Saints.
Way to go, Dennis Allen. But Thomas Morstead giving his blessings on Twitter yesterday, saying, Tyler, take number 6. I hope it was as good to you as it was to me. God, I love Thomas Morstead. Here in Louisiana, we always get one people who want to live here and stuff. Nobody has adopted the state as much as Morstead has. He still lives here in the off season. Kids go to school here. Catch him around City Park. Thomas Morstead, true denizen of the boot. And he's got a big boot.
Yeah. Saints just willy-nilly released him, too.
It is crazy. Last member of the 2009 Super Bowl team. They fell in love with Blake Gillikin. Red flag name there.
Yeah.
Not a serious name.
No.
Lasted a year.
And then you went with the Aussie guy who we all tried to like, Headley, and he sucked. He's still on the team.
I
don't think so.
I don't even know who the punter is this year. They probably don't even know.
No, I don't think they do. God, Tyler Shough, please. Please. We need you. We need you something fierce. We're down bad right now.
Matthew Hayball.
I've never heard that name.
I forgot
in my
about
life.
Hayball. I think
Yeah, he played.
was he okay last year?
Yeah, he was okay. They brought him in 2/3 of the way through.
From Vanderbilt. Number 43. Gross.
It's an ugly number.
Only person that's ever made that look tight is Darren Sproles.
That's my only Danny Stutzman critique.
Troy.
28's a crazy number for a middle linebacker. I don't like it.
I like 28 as a number, though.
28's not a bad number, not for middle linebacker. But then again, isn't Pete Warner 23 or whatever?
He's 20.
20? Ugh. Guys, come on. Show some respect for those who came before. Throw on a number 55 and get your ass out there.
Or solid
Bum.
58.
50. Just throw on a number in the 50s, guys. Grow up.
Grow up.
It's time to stop playing with little boy toys. Hour 3 next.
Off the bench.